Hello one and all, this is Nerdcraft here, bringing you game 1 out of a best of 3 series here. Spawning on the western position of the Antigua shipyard is our blue Zerg player, Dignitas Killer, and his opponent spawning on the eastern position is our red Terran player, oGsSuperNova. Bum bum boom. Don't know why I added that, thought it would be nice for effect. So TVZ on Antigua shipyard. Force cross positions, there is no gold on this map, so Terran is not going to have that massive advantage like people say like Terran does, I should say, not like what people say, because that implies that it's not true, but it is completely true. You know, get that really fast third right at the gold, put up your planetary fortress, put tanks right up here, and before you know it, oh hey, check that out, you can't do anything about it unless you go straight up to mutas or broodlords. And of course, you don't want to leave a Terran sitting there at the third of a gold, especially for a very long time. You have to do something about that. But as we know, it is oGsSuperNova, one of the big dominant powerhouses in Korea. What he's pretty known for right now is that he was recently kicked out of round 16 of Coda S, and he beat MC and Lenok to get to the round 16. So talk about freaking impressive. You're beating not only MC but freaking Lenok. You gotta have some skill to do that. But unfortunately, he did go down by losing to JYP and another guy. I think it was a Terran. It might have been FXO Gumio. Correct me if I'm wrong. And as we can see in this game, Dignitas Killer is going to be going for that really quick, that 15 hatch. What's nice about the 15 hatch is that, especially on Antigua shipyard, is that you have this nice wide open what am I saying? You have this nice wide open area here, and then you have a ramp, which it's big, but still it's pretty far away from the actual hatchery, so it's not like Marines can run up the ramp, shoot, run down the ramp, shoot, you know, stuff like that. They gotta, you know, they have to kind of walk here, and this gives you a nice buffer zone to keep, you know, your lings and roaches, banelings, and spine crawlers right here. Especially right here for spine crawlers is very nice. Another thing which I really like, and I've seen done, is that some players will keep banelings right here, so when when a large amount of Marines come in, the lings will come forward, and the spine crawlers will be like concentrate on those lings, and then bam, banelings from the side. So that's what's always nice. You always have to know the advantages of the map. As we can see here, spawning pool just finishing up for Killer, so everything so far is pretty standard. The Queen coming up for him, and we have no Supernova going for a pretty fast command center. I would say it looks about maybe 18, possibly 16 command center. So the racks first, I'm not 100% sure if, I suppose I could check. Yeah, this was gas. No, it wasn't actually. This was a gasless expand. You can tell by the amount of gas that's been mined, because a regular Vespian Geyser has 2,500 gas already in it, and we can see 2444 is what's remaining, so that means there wasn't that much gas mined on each of them. So it was a gasless expo coming there from Supernova. No surprise at all, because it's such a good way to play against Zerg. You can really usually get away with a gasless expand. A gasless expand, provided that you see this 15 hatch, because if it's pool first, you're a lot more susceptible to, you know, those ling run bys, as opposed to going into just a straight, as opposed to, you know, when it's done with a 15 hatch, just going straight into the if it's a 15 hatch, what I'm trying to say, if it's a 15 hatch, it's a lot easier to transition into a gasless expand. But the problem is if it's pool first, usually they get the gas, wait till, well, it's usually almost always a speedling opening if they go any sort of pool first opening. So, you know, once that metabolic boost is made, you're pretty much in trouble. And starport coming up right after the reactor, the barracks is going to be making a tech lab, so it's going to be some Hellion into Banshee harass, which I really love, really strong, really good against Protoss, or not Protoss, but really good against Zerg. And I'm surprised you don't see it as often as you do. I remember the Anaheim games when Slayers started really introducing that heavy Hellion composition, which is now almost the standard in at least TVZ. They they would almost always follow it up with some sort of Banshee if they did early Hellions. And, you know, it's just really, really good. And Killer's going to come in and scout this. He's like, oh, I see what you're doing there. Surprisingly enough, it's Cadius Reactor that's being researched. That gives Medivacs an additional 25. Oh, no, canceled, realizing that he made a misclick or something like that. Or he was just trying to psych out. Oh, my. That actually might be just genius. He might have tried to psych out Killer into thinking that he's researching Cloak by just using the animation, but then instead decide to cancel. As you can see, the two more Hellions are going to join their Hellion brothers. One gets surrounded, but the others are going to be able to clean up the rest of these Lings. Not after the second one does go down. The third is being established here for Killer as well. Single Spinecrawler up, and the Queens are out. Plenty of Queens are out as well, but what I like here from Killer is he's only making one Spore Crawler. It's over here, so it's not that horribly huge of a reaction, despite seeing the what he would assume was Cloak being researched for the Banshees. And as you can see, the Spinecrawler just moving forward, gonna get down burrowed. Creep gonna start spreading. The Queen is moving over to the third here, and there is the Banshee. It's gonna start harassing at that third. Gonna try and take out the Queen. No, the Queen is gonna try and get away, but of course, once off Creep, not good at all for the Queen. Finally gets on the Creep, but is gonna be taken out by that Banshee. Oh man, that is just really clever. Only a single Overseer has been made by Killer, so this is actually really good play there from Killer, despite thinking that Cloak Banshees might have been coming in. Single Viking is on its way as well. That's just going to try and pick off scouting Overlords, things like that. Three Queens are going to come into the base now. They're going to try and get at that Banshee, but the Banshee is being backed away. Those Hellions kind of posing a threat to, like, yeah, it's like saying, bring your Queens forward. I do have ground, so it's not like you're completely safe. And the Banshee, instead, she's going to opt to go right into the main, but she's going to meet a Spinecrawler or Spore Crawler, unfortunately. Not being noticed at all. She is going to go down. Oh, man, I hate to be a Banshee in Supernova's army. And we can see the rest of these Hellions are going to be cornered and cleaned up. And not a single drone was killed, which is really nice. As you can see, only one worker has been killed, and that was by Killer. So, you know, living up to his name there. Pathogen glands on their way as well as a macro hatch. I like this a lot here, coming out from Killer. Single Viking over there, just picking off at Overlords, I'm pretty sure. Unless it was gonna... I don't see why I would try and protect the Banshee from Mutalisk. That doesn't make sense to me. And, yeah, there's some Overlords over here, so that'd be nice if he could go out and find them. Lings kind of really spread everywhere. As you can see, the Overseer, Lings, Ling, Overseer, or Overlord, I should say, not Overseer. And the third looks like it's going to be established here for Supernova. A little bit of supply difference there for both of the players, 80 to 90. Killer in the lead. If we check out the economy, their Supernova's ahead because of mules. As we can see, it's 54 SCVs or 56 SCVs to 63 drones. You have no idea how much I wanted to say SUV for some reason. I hate when I accidentally call SCVs SUVs, because it's just like, oh yeah, there's an SUV. No, those actually wouldn't benefit the Terran army at all, because they would suck up too much. They'd take up too much Vespian gas. Haha! Look what I did. And Macro Hatch now just finishing up for Killer, as well as a sneaky fourth. I like that a lot from Killer. The problem though is that it's right here. You know, it's very easily accessed by the Terran player, because, you know, eventually Supernova will go into drops. Almost every Terran player does, and this is going to be his route right here. He's going to go, you know, over here, going to drop. He's going to load up over here and then drop all the way down over here, and he'll see that. So I like the fact that he's getting that quick fourth. That's kind of sneaky, but at the same time, I don't like it at all. As we can see, a drop getting caught out of place. Now it's going to be forced to drop the Marines, but unfortunately, they're being dropped into Lings. So they're kind of just like, oh man, gonna go down. Loses all those Marines pretty much for free. I'd hate to be those Marines in that medevac, just like, we're stuck. We have to evac. Are you kidding me? There's Lings down there. Hey, I gave you an order. Now get going. It's like, oh crap. Second spawning pool coming up. So actually, oh man, I'm so sorry. I missed the drop that did take out the spawning pool by the looks of it. So the wing production is gonna be halted for quite a while. I'm so sorry I missed that, but that is also really smart by Supernova, going for that spawning pool right away. And as we can see, this drop is also going to scout the 3rd or the 4th, and this drop going to come in. I don't think oh, it is protected. It has 2 spine crawlers and everything, so that's going to tell Supernova, no, I probably shouldn't go over there. And this drop is going to be cleaned up. No, actually, all the Marines do get out. Very good job there from Supernova. And 2-2 now on its way, as well as an Ultralisk Cavern for Killer. I find that very fascinating that he's going for Ultralisks instead of Broodlords. I suppose I can understand it, because Antigua Shipyard kind of has a bit more of a really big opening. It's got a lot of nice wide pathways for the Zerg, or for the Zerg army to go through. And as you can see here, more some links going forward and being able to take out these Marines with the infestors as well. One fester does go down, but now there's a kind of a small little cute force here for Supernova. But it's also 146 to 167. Supernova in the lead. This drop is going to be cleaned up. Infested Terrans going down. Not going to catch that medevac. There's another drop going down here. This one's going to be seen, I'm sure of it. Viking coming in forward, trying to just distract the Queen, but gets out, and the medevac is going to drop right into the middle of infestors. Never fun, never good at all. That's provided dKiller pays attention to that drop. Supernova actually only dropping 3 Marines. Very interesting. And now Infested Terran coming down and going to fungal growth on those Marines in the medevac. As you can see, they're all just going to be easily cleaned up. And Supernova is establishing himself right in the middle. This is really nice about this map when you're Terran, is that you can establish yourself, you can establish dominance on that high ground in the middle, that middle plateau, or yeah, plateau or platform, whichever one you want to call it. And the gold that was coming up for Killer was taken out. Oh look, he's got like a nice little shake there made with his spore crawlers. So I don't know if that was intentional or not. But as you can see, some Lings and Infestors coming down. I'm surprised how small the army is for dKiller. It just seems so itsy bitsy tiny. But of course, as I say that, I look on the mini map and go, oh snap, look at that. That's a bit of more of a Zerg swarm right there. So yeah. Scanning there, he's going to see, oh, there are infestors. I don't think the Ultras have been seen by Supernova at all, because, oh, well, now they have been seen as, nope, no, they're not, still not seen at all. As you can see, the more spine crawlers come up just to protect himself from those drops. Medevac goes down as well as the Marines, so, curious, because Supernova is making Marauders. I don't know if he's kind of like, I don't know if he knows that Killer makes Ultralisk a lot. I don't know much about Killer's style either. And as you can see, these Marines just going around scouting, making sure there's no expansions being had. Surprisingly enough, though, Killer was able to keep this expansion up. I'm very surprised by that. Fungal growth went off on that medevac. Almost died, too. As you can see, it's like very low on health. How much is that? It's got 2 health left. Wow, crazy. And another drop here coming up for Supernova. I like this constant drop harass that he's doing. Everything is following that single drop, though. So hopefully Supernova, there you go. Supernova finally realizing that, oh snap, that's not supposed to be. Second command center being established right now. This 4th command center is going to be floated over to what was supposed to be the gold, and is no longer the gold. I realized that I accidentally called this the gold when dKiller was trying to establish himself. Now, the Ultralists are definitely revealed if you didn't know them already. Concussive Shell is coming out. Baneling Nest about to finish up. Surprising how late this game was. And as we can see, the Ultralists coming in from the side, and the Lynx crashing in from the south. And this army is actually going to be cleaned up by Killer. This is going to be a great exchange there for Killer. Supernova gonna stim some more Marines and Marauders forward, but there's very little medevacs. All these tanks, by the looks of it, might be cleaned up. No, these infestors aren't doing anything. They should drop some infested Terran at least. Oh man, a lot of infestors with full energy went down for almost essentially free. And we have 9 Ultralists being made. And there's a drop over here for Supernova. Just great play there. Another Ultralist ready to receive, ready to give a nice warm welcoming to that Terran army by means of hugging. And as you can see, scan goes down. I don't think Concussive Shell works on Ultralists. I'd be interested to know. If anyone knows, please tell me. And another Ultralist going to hatch here. Ray Transfuser on that Ultralist, but it does go down. And this is going to be cleaned up by that single Ultralist. That Ultralist is going to have quite a bit of kills. No, it only does have 2. Level 3 ground carapace is just about to finish up here. That's going to make those Ultralists just nigh on impossible to kill. That's going to give them with a 5 armor. Talk about awesome crazy. But level 3 melee isn't done, so these Ultralists can't really do that. Can't really be utilized. Their ultimate their very superior melee ability that they have. For those who don't know, Ultras do 19 damage and 43 against armored. And as you can see, Ultras again leading the charge with the Lings coming behind on this plateau. All the fighting's been taking place on this plateau right now, and this is going to be all cleaned up by Killer as Supernova tries desperately to make sure that there's no Ultras coming into his base. The Ultras are going to crash forward into these bunkers and a single tank line, but Lings in there going to try and take out the tank. Unfortunately, do not get it, and the Ultras are going to be able to easily clean up those tanks because of their ridiculous amount of damage against armor. As you can see, the Ultras now hacking away at that wall, going to be able to take these Marines out, but these tanks might stop them. Actually, no, they're not. Both tanks go down. Both tanks go down, I said. Both tanks go finally down. And this Marauder here, he's probably the baller Marauder out of all the Marauders, because he does have 5 kills, and like 3 of those kills were Ultralists. And baller Marauder is going to go down as he kills a single Ultralist. More Lings streaming in, and Infestors as well. The Concussive Shell almost catching an Infestor out of position there. It looks like Supernova is going to be able to hold this off. This base is surprisingly enough being completely ignored. Well, it is a planetary fortress. That's why Lings went up into the third and cleaned out that entire mineral line. As we can see, there's 19 SCVs killed to the 12 that 12 SCVs killed to the 19 that Supernova has killed. So not exactly even trade when it comes to the workers killed, but Infested Terran being dropped down to take care of these SCVs. I almost called them SCVs. I was right the first time. Dang it. 2 more Ultras being added. I would love to see a really good tech switch here from Killer into Broodlords. I think that would just really ruin it for Supernova, the single Overlord there. He's like, yeah, I'm an Overlord. What you guys gonna do about it? Tanks can't shoot up. What was that noise I heard? I heard something. Maybe, was it? Sounded kind of like a transfuse. So, getting the sensor tower up, I like this, so that way Supernova knows when dKiller is going to try and do some Burrow Infestor play, which I don't think he's getting at all. Nice Fungal Girl, it's going off on those SCVs. He should have gotten another chain Fungal off. I don't think he had the energy for it. Marauder and a Marine going forward, they are the most brave 2 units I have ever seen to go up against 5 Infestors. They did kill 1. 5 Infestors, a bunch of Lings, and an Ultralist. And they're doing it again. They're like, screw you, man. I'm a freaking Marauder. I'm a Marine. And Fungal Growth does go off, and then those poor souls have been killed by their own shelling, surprisingly enough. Drop over here. Gonna see if there's a base in this expansion. Gonna see, oh no, there isn't at all. 4 more Ultralists coming up as well. Again, I feel a great tech switch to Broodlords for Killer would just make all the difference, because Supernova is investing in tanks and Marauders as well as Marines. So if he decided, yeah, I think I'm just going to make Broodlords, I'm pretty sure that would give Killer, or not Killer, but Supernova a very hard time. As we can see here, Supernova is max, Killer is not. This drop over here was cleaned up, and it is gonna aim for the expansion. There's currently nothing going on right now, but as I say that, what was that noise? Oh, it sounded disgusting, but anyway, here we go. The Medevac gonna drop some Marines, only to meet 2 Ultralists, which is never the best welcoming committee, because like I said, they have hugs, and their hugs are very painful. If you look at those blades that they have, whew, man, the Kaiser blades as they're called, more like the Kaiser, can't think of it. Spine Crawler trying to be made here. All the Lings are going to be cleaned up, unfortunately, for Killer, and looks like there was some Marines going ahead scouting. It's going to give him confirmation of bailing presence, and Marines going over here trying to do some creep sweep, killing some Overlords, but there are plenty of Overlords. These Marines are going to try and make a nice little pathway for them to access that 3rd or 4th, and here we go. The Infestors coming in. Unfortunately, there is sensor tower, so they're going to be seen. I think you'd think they'd see it. No, they don't. I'm surprised. They are not. Oh, they are seen on the mini map, I think. But great play there from Killer. Even though it was seen, all these Infested Terran are gonna be able to take. Oh, there's another engagement over here that I missed. I'm just trying to see if they're gonna be able to take on this planetary fortress. It is on fire, but mass repair is gonna go down, and the Infestors move forward. Are these Infestors seen on the mini? They aren't actually. Very interesting, but you can see the shadows right there if you look hard enough. and the infestors are going to come up over here. And they're going to spot out 3 infested Terran. As you can see, the drop over here was cleaned up, and my mouse DPI just all of a sudden shot up because I accidentally clicked the button. And these infestors, that has to be so annoying. You know there's infestors under the ground, but you just can't see them. I could have sworn that sentry towers actually picked up on burrowed units. I guess not. That's very interesting. I wonder how much SCVs were killed. 21 SCVs to 28 drones. As we can see here, this 4th is going to be sieged up. 2 spine crawlers desperately trying to make. They both are canceled though. And these 2 spine crawlers are all that separates Killer from a dead 4th, as well as Marines coming up over here, stimming to try and take out this one. Marauders take out buildings like none other. Single Ultralisk and some Lings are going to come in. Not going to be able to clean it up, I'm pretty sure. So this base goes down, as well as this base. Of course, I'm eating my own words because the entire force is going to be cleaned up by a handful of Lings and a single Ultralisk. But have these infestors done anything in here? No, they are at 71 energy, so they're going to be able to make, well, 3 infested Terran total, because they are currently 75. And ooh, I like this. He's spreading his infestors around. I like that a lot, so he can catch Supernova off guard from multiple directions. Supernova will, like, he'll spew some out over here. Supernova will think, oh, they're over there. Brings his army over there. All of a sudden, bam, spew it over here. And it's just not. It's suddenly all the fun is sucked out of the game for Supernova. It's 147 supply to 189. As you can see, the army amassing at this planetary fortress. More drones are being transferred up over here. And the planetary fortress is going to be sieged. It is going to be taken out because Ultralisks just eat through everything really fast. And Supernova is going to reply with a push forward, a huge push forward, might I add. And massive fungal growths going off on the majority of that bio, but not taking them out. Unfortunately, another fungal growth going down. And Shane fungal growth is going to be able to kill a handful of these Marines. No, actually, none of them are going to die. And the 3rd is going to be sieged by Supernova. As you can see, another planetary another command center being made over here. This is probably going to be turned into a planetary fortress, most likely. And the Ultralisk, by the looks of it, we're trying to get ready to go to that base, but decided not to. This is just gonna. I think Killer is trying to get ready for a flanking maneuver, trying to produce as much units as he can in here, and then flank from behind. You know, that double prong attack, which is always nice. If you can catch these tanks off guard, that'd be great. But the infested Terran are going to be able to clean up. Oh, and actually, the infested Terran do clean up. The Ultralists are coming in. They're going to be crashing, getting those tanks, literally eating through those tanks. Holy crap, Ultras are good. And the infestors coming in from this side, going into siege tank line. But the infested Terrans are going to try and get off, see if they can clean this up for Supernova. I would not be surprised to see infested Terran go down over here at all. This would just be great for Killer. And this bio still remains. And a single infestor going to put down some infested Terran. All the tanks have been cleaned up, but not looking good for Killer at all. It is 168 to 60 supply. Supernova, knowing he won, he drops the Manor Mules, and there's the GG from Dignitas Killer. Those mules look like they were ready to mine from this Ultralisk cavern. So yeah, that was game number 1. Not really much to say about it. It was pretty awesome. Again, I felt though that if Killer just, you know, made a bunch of Ultralisks, cleaned up that army, and then went into Broodlord, holy crap, talk about just complete tech switch metagame, because Supernova was making Marauders throughout that game, and Marauders have this tendency of not shooting up. Their guns are way too big on their on the sides of their arms, so they can't shoot up. You know, they can barely hold those things up because they're so heavy. You know, the next day their shoulders are burning, and it hurts a lot. Killer should have also utilized these 2 infestors that he left in the bases of Supernova, so that way he could have just, like, you know, at least taken one up here and start cutting through the production of Supernova. That would have really helped. But anyway, sticking around for game number 2, Supernova is up 1-0, and it is a best-of-3 series, I do believe. Anyway, my name is Nerdcraft. Please subscribe to my channel so you can get to these games nice and quick like. Stick around for game number 2. My name is Nerdcraft. See you then.